Welcome to Progressive Mindset Podcast. My name is Natalie Potts, business coach and mentor, and each week I'll be bringing you an inspiring personal message to help you unlock creating and living a life full of energy, action, impact and happiness. And today I'm welcoming on Linda. Linda and I met through a coaching network, and she's going to share with us about her journey, how she's found her niche, what she loves about coaching, but really around the obstacles and the challenges that hold us back, and those limiting beliefs that we have from childhood, and how she helps her niche with that. As always, I'm going to hand over to Linda to introduce herself.
So my full name, if I can say, is Lindita, but short is Linda. And who do I coach? I coach parents that they really struggle with their children, to understand, children and how to support them in the right way.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for 7 years. But what I have noticed is that actually it's not children that they need help, it's us who needs help, us as a parent, because we project our own thoughts, we project our own journey into our children. And then we create a chaos there. And then we think that, children are not respecting us, or they are not listening us, or they don't do what we want them to do. But all of that comes from our journey.
Yeah.
Because children are born innocent, they are born into this world to be free, but we want to mold them the way we want to mold them.
Okay, interesting. And I guess you said you've been doing this 7 years. How did you get into the coaching side of it then?
I work in a school, and I'm a single mother and been living in this country for 23 years. At that time, I didn't have any support, and I was struggling myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see other parents in school were struggling the same. So my manager, to begin with, I was talking to parents and giving advice, sharing my own experience and things like that. And then after, my manager recognized my strength, and she then I was trained to be a parent coach in the school. So that's how I started. And another thing, what kind of motivated me to go into coaching was because I was facilitating different programs in school.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was facilitating, I was asked to mentor and coach other members of staff to do the same. And I could see the results of empowering the other person. I could see how much they were progressing just through mentoring and coaching.
Yeah.
And that's where my journey started. I'm like, okay, so I could see that others are benefiting through mentoring and coaching. And I could see parents are thriving as well.
Yeah.
So I can do that full-time job. At that time, I wasn't aware of coaching that existed as a profession.
Mm.
It was more to me that, I'm helping people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how I started my journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting. You definitely notice with people how you can see them. I always say move from A to B, isn't it? And you kind of close that gap. And where sometimes I guess the essence of coaching is to raise someone's self-awareness. And for them, sometimes you have to not mentor them, but you do have to kind of create that, that awareness for them a little bit, in terms of, have you noticed how far you've come, or have you noticed what you've seen in a change in your shift in your energy or your behaviors or what you're learning, and get them to recognize that as well. And like you say, then that creates the empowerment for sure, doesn't it?
Exactly. And that raised awareness towards me as well, not only them, but it raised awareness to me that, wow, actually, just that little help and support, even, okay, mentoring is you really help and guide and support, where coaching was more empowering. And I wasn't aware of coaching at all. I could see that I was raising awareness to myself about things that I wasn't aware before, about my strengths.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's very much a journey ourselves, isn't it? And I know that's something we shared last week, and you spoke quite a bit about the obstacles, which I thought was really refreshing. And I guess share a bit about how you found doing the journey and as you said, the obstacles that have come your way.
So when I first joined the Coaching Academy, at that time, I thought that, so as I shared that was the pushing factor, at work, that I was coaching and mentoring. And I looked into TCA since 2015, but unfortunately, still I wasn't quite sure. So I've done counseling and I've done therapy courses, and still I was undecisively of what should I do. And then the offer came that my manager said, would you like to coach parents? So, and I sat with it for a while. Then 2018, I said, no, now I know where I'm heading. Coaching is something that I love to do because personally, I have worked with goals, not like doing the wheel of life or setting goals and writing things down, but I always set a goal for myself. So in 2018, I joined TCA, and at that time in my life, everything was as it should be. And unfortunately, it didn't last long. Then I was thrown lots of challenges at work, which really needed to take priority. Challenges with my children, which again, that needed to take priority. Challenges in a relationship, that needed to take priority. And coaching became the second or last priority, if I can say. But what I did is, yes, I broke down all, and say, okay, this is a priority. I need to deal. It needs my immediately attention. But I was continuing to coach. I kept the practical side. But I kind of fall behind with paperwork. With that side. And so there were personal challenges. But then I had other challenges. I'm a mature student. And as a mature student, it was very challenging. The course was more learning course. It wasn't something that you've got a tutor in front of you and explaining things. So it needed very strict self-discipline, which I lacked at the time. I didn't have that because of the challenges that I was thrown. And so that was one, mature student. Another thing was online course. And as a mature student, I was used to books, open the books, annotate, discuss with the other, people in the group, and meet up outside and in a library and discuss the topic or assignment. And then another thing was that I had the feedback from a tutor, which helped to build my knowledge and knowing exactly what I was doing regarding, my studies. Where with TCA, it was more online, it was more self-learning. And that was a struggle, big struggle for me, because it was something new, something that I never experienced before. And I had to make an approach of to my fellow coaches to have group studies and to study together.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how I conquered that challenge. The next challenge was working in a school. My skills were more giving advice, teaching, guiding, mentoring, and coaching is completely different. So I had to unlearn skills in order for me to learn new skills.
Okay.
And that took me almost 3 years, because I had to, when I was in the presence of coaching other people, I had to remove that hat and I had to put the coaching hat on, which to begin with, it was very challenging.
Yeah.
Because constantly I had the habit of giving advice, rescuing, mentoring. So that was a big challenge as well.
Yeah. I love the point about like, first of all, you say about the discipline you need, and then having to unlearn and relearn. And I think, like, it's very true, isn't it? We kind of, sometimes we think we know everything, or we like the sound of our own voice, so we want to feel secure and comfortable, so we sometimes do that by filling the gap and talking. And I know that when I mentor coaches now, we share a lot around, they feel awkward sometimes with that silence. And I said, but you have to become comfortable with that. And it's exactly like you say there, isn't it? Learning a new skill, that just because there's a silence, it's actually powerful, because you've got all this mind chatter happening in your mind. I said, you need to almost remove that from yourself, because it's not about you, it's about your client, and just give them the time to think things through. And I guess a great way to develop that myself in my learnings was that as I was going through the academy, and very much still, that getting coached myself, you understand exactly both sides then. And there are some times when I'll be with a coach and it's like, I don't really know, or I'll say, just give me a moment, I just need to think about that or explore it. I want that time, because it may be the only time I have in a week where it's just kind of an hour or two with a coach, and I'm just fully in the moment of exploring that for myself. And if I don't do it justice in having that time, again, it will just rush by, and I won't give that almost discipline to the time in the week. So it is really powerful to leave a silence. And I think as a skill, you have to get comfortable with different things. And it's really interesting to see how, like you say about being a mature student, and how we can grow, and we think we know everything, or we think how we are is how we are, but we can change things. Exactly, like, actually raising your awareness as a parent to change the way you are will help children, because you're not then juxtaposing your beliefs onto them or expectations onto them as they're growing up. And often, most of that's the issue we have, is that we get to a certain point of our life and realize a lot of it stems back to our childhood.
Exactly. It's all stemmed from the childhood, because we are told what to do.
Yes.
We are guided, we are given advice, and we disempower the young people, because as a parent, we step in to rescue them all the time. And that was one of my biggest weakness, if I can say, that rescuing, always I was jumping to rescue, even in a coaching sessions. And I had to unlearn that. It's not my journey. It's not, it's them, it's about them, and it's not about me. So rescuing, I've been fighting and growing myself in that area, and learning how to stop, pause, and not to think about me. And the rescuing is just, no, it's about the client, it's not about me, it's about them, it's their journey, it's their agenda. If I jump to rescue, it's me who I want to rescue. It's not, I'm not rescuing them. So there were lots of skills that I really needed to park, and learn new skills. And that has been very rewarding. very, very rewarding.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I know, whilst you say it took 3 years and everything, but I really think that people want to rush things nowadays. And I was asked to do a short video because it's International Coaching Week this week, and to do a video for TCA on what kind of like would give us one piece of advice. And I always just say, just be patient, because we always want everything overnight, or we think that we can change our habits and behaviors instantly just because we've suddenly had that light bulb moment of something, when actually, again, like, we are constantly almost, I think you always have to be a student, don't you, that you're always going to be learning and looking at things and changing. And I think when you can change that perspective and take responsibility, I think, for the way you are as well, that's key, not to just throw it on somebody else or become I know you say about rescue there, but you become the victim, don't you? And that it's really interesting to grow with something on a journey. If you were to look back over the last 3 years, what would you have changed, do you think, if you were starting that journey again, or for somebody coming through starting their journey?
First of all, what I would change is, before you jump to take any course, look at assess your situation. Where are you? And explore what exactly you are going into. What course are you studying? How much time that study needs? What is expected of you? And what support network do you have around you? That is a big thing. And always ask for help. Always ask for help. And one that was the biggest for me, that I would really share with everyone, is never ever compare yourself with others. You are your own competitive. Do not compare yourself with others. Work on your pace, not other people's pace. Because one of the downfall was that when people, which I was very pleased when people posted on TCA and say, I finished. And to me, it was like, what is holding me back? What is going on? Why am I not able to finish my course? I've done other qualification. I've got counseling degree. I've got therapy. What is stopping me? And I was comparing myself and putting myself down. So I was doubting my ability, when in fact, no, it wasn't my ability that holding me back. It was that when I joined the course, I didn't take into account all the things that I said above. The support network, because life throws us lots of curveballs, unexpectedly. We don't expect things. But the thing is, do we have support network around us that they can pick us up? Or how strongly we are mentally as well to cope with those challenges?
That's great.
So it was for me, it was the biggest learning curve throughout my life.
You glad you did it?
I'm I wouldn't say glad, I'll say over the moon. I'll say I'm finding I want to find the right word to use there. I'm, I took a challenge that I didn't know what to expect. And I conquered lots of fears during that journey.
Great.
To me, is a life-changing journey. Not only about, yes, finishing the course, it was about knowing myself, discovering myself. So for me, it was life-changing, and I'll do it again in a heartbeat.
It's interesting, because I got into coaching because I met a coach, and I'd never heard of coaching really. I'd heard of it a little bit through corporate world I was in, but not like a direct coach, and he started asking me about values and everything. And then, you know, I kind of shared some thoughts and things, and he challenged a bit around whether that was more social idealism and what I wanted to almost sound good. You know, I was this and I was that, or these are my values. And it just really got me thinking. And then he started asking some more like purpose questions and the meaning of life and all of that. And that kind of got me like, wow, I don't know a lot of this and I need to think about it. And then I think the best journey you can go on is the one where you discover yourself. And I often think that people don't want coaching, or they don't understand how beneficial it can be to their life, because they don't want to uncover those things about themselves. We say it, we want to be the best we can be and everything, but actually tapping into understanding yourself is really hard. And I don't think
It's
it's always
scary.
easy. It is scary. And
It's scary to discover yourself.
and I don't think a lot of people want to be that vulnerable. They want to have an ego, or they want to be, you know, come across as a certain way. And like you say, we're constantly comparing ourselves. And there's this term I've heard this year called comparisonitis. Never heard it really before. And it is that you just constantly compare. Well, I'm not there, I'm not there, I'm not there yet, and all of that. And sometimes I'll work with clients and I'll say, no, you're not. And I know it's really tough, and I am a direct communicator, but it's really key that people know that you're not going to be there yet, and that's fine. Be where you are, enjoy that part and go on that journey. Be curious, have courage, you know, and see what then unravels from that, and then learn again, like you say, learn, relearn, and take those slow steps forward. Because often people, as you alluded to at the start, therefore don't have the discipline to keep something going, and that's when you get the kind of remarkable breakthroughs as an individual, because you have taken the time to really understand things and explore it and know what it means to you. And that's not overnight.
No, it's not. Otherwise, we all will be coaches. We
Yeah,
all
sure.
will be, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not. But the biggest scary, so the biggest, which the fear I could say is getting to know ourselves, because
yeah,
we are scared to reveal things about ourselves that we are not aware of.
yeah, yeah.
And we are scared to go into that unknown.
Mm.
We want to always feel safe and in that
Yeah,
comfort zone. And that's it, playing safe and not stretching ourselves, because we are scared of those challenges.
yeah,
We are scared of what are we going to discover about ourselves.
yeah,
And one of the questions that I always ask my clients is like, who are you? And they look at me and they say to me, what do you mean? Who am I?
yeah.
My name is that and my role is that. And I'm like, but that doesn't define you.
No. Yeah,
Who are you as a person? What do you like? What don't you like? What, you know, your passion.
mm, mm.
And to them, that question throws them a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah,
because we deep down we don't know who really,
mm.
you know, who we are.
Yeah, and also I think it's who you want to be as well. You know, I was doing a leader role, and I worked with a coach in corporate world, just like corporate leadership. We were doing coaching around that, and I worked just for 9 months solid, one-on-one, just understanding how I could implement 6 core qualities I thought a leader should possess. Now, leadership can be so broad; it can be an array of areas and qualities and skills, but there was 6 that I defined that I wanted to be, and I wanted them to resonate through my behaviors and my actions, and I wanted to measure it by others saying that back to me, that I am respectful, I am trustworthy, I have fun. You know, those are some of my, you know, empathy. Those were think forward a core, you know, at some of the 6 that I did. And looking back, you know, that was just 9 months just on that one. That was my one goal, and it took a long time, and you had to get feedback, you had to understand where you are, where you want to be, how, like I said, how you measure that, what was going to change for me once, if I, you know, if and when I achieve that as such. And you know, I mean, if I achieve that in terms of being able to measure it, that others would say that back, you know, and if they didn't, had I really succeeded? So you have to go on that journey and ask all of those questions, but it wasn't an overnight piece. And I look back and I love the fact that I did give so long to it, because I probably learnt more. I've then done different things off of the back of it, just by letting it be as well and grow.
Exactly. And what you mentioned there that I loved it was that feedback.
Yeah.
And feedback is important
100%. Yeah.
because we grow from the feedback.
Yeah.
Because others see things that we can't see.
Yeah.
Is that Johari window, if I can say, if I'm saying that right at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah, that what others see in us, what we can't see, and how do we perceive ourselves and how others perceive us.
Yeah.
And feedback is key.
Yeah.
And I loved, the feedback from TCA and from my fellow coaches and all of that helped me grow as well.
Yes.
I didn't take it personally. I didn't take it in a critical voice that, oh, so she mentioned that, so it means that I'm not good enough there.
Yes.
To me, it's like, how can I grow? But that was, and what I love about coaching is because your mindset change from that fixed mindset is into that growth mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that is amazing,
isn't it? That's the
it does
as well. And I noticed that through mentoring now, that I'll think things and say things, and I'll think it feels very organic to me, but it wasn't 6 years ago, and it isn't to that person that I'm mentoring as a coach. So then that shows me, and it's again, notice what you notice, that I've grown so much and how I've come on in terms of that. It proves that you just have to go out there and learn things and adapt. You can mold, neuroplasticity. If you look, neuroplasticity, I can say it. If you look at how you can kind of remold your brain and the way you think and your perspective, and very much years ago, I used to have, I remember I was quite a little bolshy little thing when I was leader back at 21, and I look back and think, wow, like I was just very fixed mindset in how I saw the world and everything, and yeah, I almost wish, if I look back, that at 18 I was more of a growth mindset for sure. And I think if we can share that and teach that with younger generations now, that offers them a wealth of potential for their futures.
Yeah, definitely, because we are shaped by external thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That what society thinks of us, what other people thinks of us, and we've got that fixed mindset.
Yeah, how we have to be.
And how we have to be.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, I've been brought up in a family. My dad is 77, and he still reads book. I've been brought up in a family that constantly books been around.
Yeah, I love that. Love reading.
And in my house, I've got 2-3 bookcases.
Yes.
In every room. I love, we love to read and expand.
Good for you. Yeah.
That knowledge and to have that awareness about ourselves. And I feel at the moment, I feel, wow, I miss so much because I had that fixed mindset.
Yeah.
And I stopped growing because of that. But the minute that I was introduced to coaching, so joined TCA, I was like, wow. And reading Eckhart Tolle books, The Power of Now and New Earth, is like, wow.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing how much our ego plays in our life.
For sure.
And
for sure.
So it's reading is,
isn't it, ego massively, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of always kind of round off with a few quick fire questions. So I'm going to shoot them at yourself and see what we've got here. So how do you measure success?
To me, and I've been asked this for years and years and years, and to me, success is not about money, it's not about title, it's not about who and where I am in a hierarchy. To me, about success is the legacy that I leave behind. What legacy am I leaving behind? And being happy. Being happy is the most, for me, that's where I feel successful. Because when I'm happy, I can follow any dream.
Yeah. So moving on to that, one of my questions is, what can people do to live a happier life?
Sorry, do you mind if you repeat the question?
Yeah, what one thing can people do to live a happier life?
Accept who you are.
Right. What do you want to be known for, Linda? What would you like?
My dream, I have shared with few people, and as we learn, few people have, laughed at my dream. And my dream is that to be known by changing parents' life of knowing who they are and embrace their identity and embrace their culture.
Yeah.
Because having that identity and that culture is the most, we offer the most richness to ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I've got two culture myself, and I always say to people, I feel that I've got 3 languages and 2 cultures here, and I feel the luckiest person because I know a different culture and how that works, and I know another one.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, it's amazing. Embrace your identity, embrace your background, embrace who you are. That is key for me. That is the legacy that I want to leave behind.
Yeah,
Embrace who you are.
Good for you. What would you tell your younger self?
My younger self was that never compare yourself with others.
Okay. Finally,
be who you are.
Yeah, 100%. One, I guess, last question is then, what one thing can people do to live a more purposeful life?
To live a purposeful life is, again, follow your passion.
Yeah.
Follow your passion. Your passion will never let you down. My passion when I was a child was history, classics. That was my passion. And it led me into that coaching to work with parents that they have different background, to embrace their identity, because it's the history, and the history is the beauty of things that we, as individuals, that we go through, and it shapes us.
Yeah.
So to me is, follow your passion.
Amazing. Love that. What a beautiful end. Linda, look, it's been a pleasure having you on. I really value your views and your outlook, your perspective. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting and giving me that space, and wishing you the best of luck on your journey as well.
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear you in the coaching conversation.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. I really hope you've taken some value. If you would like to focus on achieving your purpose-driven goals, then reach out and share with me one thing that's going great for you right now and one thing that you're really struggling with. Let's see if or how I can help you to leverage your business to make more money, make an impact, and have more freedom. As always, go take action, make an impact, and have a great day.